Welcome, all of you, to our vegan cooking class. We are so glad that you've joined us, whether by virtually or we're delighted to have those people here in our studio, not in our hall. Not sure what to call this, but anyway, we're glad that you're here, and we hope we have some fun tonight. Please feel free to ask questions anytime that you think of something that wasn't quite as clear as you'd like it to be. And those of you online can do the same. You can type in questions and they let us know if you didn't quite understand something or have a special question. So tonight, our emphasis is on lunches. Take along lunches for adults or for children, whatever. I hope you get some ideas for both. So first of all, let's bow our heads and have a prayer, and then we'll get started. Loving Father, thank you again that you have brought us all safely here, Lord, that we are healthy and strong. We pray that you will be with us tonight, and so that we can learn more healthy things that we can make for our families, for ourselves, that will keep us strong and keep our immune system strong. We praise your name in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, the first thing we're going to do tonight is some roll-ups, and my granddaughter Susie is going to come out here and help us with, one of the things that's kind of bummed me, and that is that we don't have all those neat flavors of cream cheese that you can get in vegan that you get that are just dairy, right? I miss those. And so, as I was thinking about things that we could do for this class, the kids like roll-ups, cream cheese roll-ups with tortillas. And I found a recipe with all these different flavors, and I thought, oh wow, I could make those and keep those in the refrigerator. And when we have bagels, we could put that on our bagels. So anyway, that's kind of part of what we're doing tonight. We're fixing some things for that. On your sheets, wow, we don't have a sheet. You want to go back there and get us a sheet, Susie? Right back there at the table. Yeah, that's fine. That's all right. All right. We have given you more than what we're going to demonstrate, just so that you have more ideas, okay? We're going to do the carrot peanut spread, and then we're going to do the cream cheese roll-ups, and we decided to do the cream cheese roll-ups first, all right? It says to add to a half cup of vegan cream cheese of your choice. There's a French onion spread, and there's a dill and chive spread. We did both of those. I didn't do the pimento cheese. I haven't tried that one yet. But anyway, I found that one recipe of seasoning for a cup worked for me. So try that first. That's what I've done tonight. Especially with the roll-ups and the olives, I thought for kids it might be a little bit strong. So I only put a recipe in a whole cup. Does that make sense? All right, here we go. So I've already mixed it up so that the flavors would really get in it. I mean, it's not that hard to just put the seasonings in there, right? The particular cream cheese, of course, how many of you make your cream cheese? Anybody? I have a recipe, but I haven't done it. Anyway, this is what we were able to find. It's Simple Truth plant-based cream cheese, organic. So it's pretty soft, and we're going to add olives to each one. Susie's going to mix one up, and I'm going to mix one up. And then we're going to spread it on tortillas and wrap it up, which, that's not something I ever did for my kids, but kids nowadays, somehow Tracy learned to do this, and her kids like it, so. That's one of the things, and they're kind of fun to eat if they're in lunches and so forth. Or as little appetizers, I guess you could do them too. And on the dill and chive, I did put fresh chive in because I happen to have some. And that I have a plant of pot of chives that I've had probably for 5 or 6 years, and it just keeps going. It's really kind of cool. All right, so now let's we got whole wheat tortillas. I think everything we're showing tonight has lots and lots and lots of fiber and good stuff in it. So, all right, Susie, here's a knife. You want to lay one on there, and glob it on and do it fast. Oops. These are brand new, wow.
You'll never know.
That's a good point. We'll cover it up. All right, I know I have them in the knife. We can't put too much on because we won't have enough to do enough, but I want everybody to be able to taste it. But we can always take some off, Suze. Is this really funny?
Miss Tabitha's whispering things.
Actually, one of the reasons that I found the flavorings, because when I first said I was going to do this, Tracy thought that, oh my, cream cheese has flavor, and she wasn't sure that vegan cream cheese would, and that it wouldn't taste very good with just olives. But you know, today when I tasted the cream cheese, I thought, you know, that's really pretty good. Just with olives, it would have been fine. Okay, so then, once we get them all, we just slice them into about 1 inch is how I do it, but my goodness, you can do whatever you want. All right. And we'll roll this one up. And of course, instead of the chopped olives, you can use sliced olives, which really is my preference, but chopped were a little bit easier to mix in, so that's what we did. All right.
Question.
Yes.
I'm not seeing olives on any of these. Which one are you making?
We're doing the cream cheese roll-ups, kind of in the middle there. And we've done French onion spread and dill and chive
So
spread.
it's in the instructions, it's not in the list of recipes of the items.
Under dill and chive spread, there's add chopped olives to either of the above spreads.
Gotcha.
Spread generously onto whole wheat tortillas, yeah. That's how it is. Okay, very good. So you can carry that back to the kitchen, and then we'll take this back too. I've tried a number of sandwich spreads since we decided to do this. And I finally settled on one that I used to do when we had our business in Tampa. We carried lunches all the time. And this is one that I did fairly often, at least. All it is grated carrots, chopped up peanuts, and some veggies. And it really makes a pretty good sandwich. So anyway, you get to taste it tonight. I've already grated, and I do them on the cores. If you have a little food processor of some sort that's doing it. And I tested it out today to make sure that the amounts, because you know I just dump, right? I'd never measured them before, but I did measure today, and it worked just fine. So this is, what does it call for?
2 cups.
2 cups. This is 2 cups of carrots, and this is a ½ cup of chopped, and they are salted peanuts. And then
Before or after you chop them?
I measured them before. Don't you love that? Because they never tell us on recipes, do they? Ever.
I think it's supposed to be something about the comma placement, right?
Yes. Yes.
2 cups of something thin chopped or 2 cups of chopped, whatever, right? That hopefully, I don't know which way it
It
goes.
should have said salted peanuts, chopped.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. I have actually measured nuts and then chopped them and then measured them again. Comes out really close. At least it did.
Like it shouldn't. I mean, I always feel like I need to know what they're together, that's fine.
Yeah. But good question. Thank you. All right, so I've got a 1/3 cup of veggies. And I probably put at least a ½ cup on each sandwich because you don't want just, you know, a little bit spread on. At least I don't. I want more. I think he's already got it made up. I would show him what it was. Of course, carrots. What are carrots good for? Y'all know, I'm sure.
Eyes.
Right, absolutely, eyes. somehow it makes it so your body can utilize vitamin A. And there's fiber in carrots besides. They're nice and crunchy. Just think, if you can get your kids to eat these, it's great, great sandwich. I think I'll let them wing that back in the back now. This needs to be finished stirring.
Question.
Yes.
How much is about half a cup?
Just stir it and try to get it to the edges. Okay, now we're going to switch to the quinoa salad. And of course it says on there, copycat Costco. Tracy told me that she really liked this salad. And I don't know if you've tried finding copycat recipes online, but you can find, there's a soup at Carrabba's that we like really well. And sure enough, we found a copycat made it one time. It was really good. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And again, you'll have to decide if you think your kids would enjoy something like this. Oh, okay.
You want to show them?
Yeah. This is what I mixed up earlier today. And, I always made it in the morning, put it on the bread, and it was fine. The peanuts weren't too wimpy by that time. So I thought it was interesting. Somewhere I had a little sheet telling of things that I could tell you about. Peanuts. Do you know other names for peanuts?
Goobers.
I've never heard that. I guess I'd heard the word goober, but I know that was peanuts. Goober, monkey nut. And what kind of food are peanuts? It's a legume. Isn't that weird? Has anybody raised them? I've never tried, but they grow down underneath the ground, right?
Not on purpose. I had some in my compost pile once.
Oh, really?
That happened with your tomatoes.
Interesting. Now, it's like this year I have a big tomato plant growing off of the compost pile.
Like 3 of them.
Okay. So, quinoa. Quinoa, I'm sure everybody here has used quinoa, right? Pretty much? Yeah. It's not something that I have learned to use a lot of, but this is what I used in the recipe. It's a whole grain, and it's really quite easy to cook. It only takes about 15 minutes to cook it. Now, most of the recipes that I have are salads. Do you use it in other things?
I use it like a rice, right, instead of a brown rice to put things over.
Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll keep that in mind because I made some Indian food last Friday night, and we used up the rest of the rice today, so now we'll eat the rest of it on the leftover quinoa.
Huh?
So, all right. One thing that I read today said that quinoa is more similar to beetroots and spinach. You can eat both the seeds and the plant. Kind of interesting. 1 cup of quinoa provides 8 grams of protein, which is really pretty good, and 5 grams of fiber. It's a good source of antioxidants, good source of iron. And so I'm going to just put these in order. Here's you can dump this in there, Suze. Brown rice,
What do we
just dump it in. Or you can use that spoon too. That's what we're going to do. Now, this isn't cooked. This is quick brown rice because my husband doesn't like the other kind, and so I just keep that kind on hand. It's brown rice, quick brown rice, and it's what we eat. So.
But it's cooked.
Yeah, it's cooked. Right. I cooked it. So it's not the stuff that you cook a long time. All right. So now the next thing, Susie, is those lentils over there. Has anybody ever cooked black lentils? Have you?
Yes.
Where do you get them?
I've seen them in Whole Foods.
Do you?
I think I've seen them at Patel's too a couple of times.
I suppose. Yeah, they say that those are actually the healthiest ones to use.
They're called beluga, like,
Caviar.
yeah.
Tiny.
Cool. All right, then we have the quinoa. We put that in. And it asks for a whole red pepper, and I think it says large, 1 red pepper decored and chopped finely. So that's what we have here, and it was a pretty good sized one. And then a large tomato, and this is the tomato from my garden, so it'll probably taste better than the ones you might get in the store. Okay, a cucumber. And I did take the seeds out. I decided I didn't want those slimy little seeds in there, so I put it in quarters and then took the seeds out. The baby kale. Can you tell which one's the baby kale? Mm-hmm. I just picked this, and it's just little tiny leaves off of my kale in the garden. All right, and then flat leaf parsley. Do you find that there's a real difference in taste between the curly? I have parsley growing, but it's the curly, and I thought, okay, I'll buy flat leaf just in taste, and I kind of tasted it today. Mine seemed a little bit stronger than the flat, but maybe that's because the flat was older. I don't know. You can start stirring it up if you want to. I'll go ahead and make the dressing. All right. If y'all just tell me what the next ingredient is. I've got the oil in here already. What's next after that?
3 tablespoons white garden vinegar.
Okay. I made this first with the cider vinegar, and I made it, excuse me. I made it with this white rice, and I couldn't really tell much difference. I didn't know if it would make a lot of difference or not. And then I thought, well, maybe my cider vinegar was really old. So, all right, 3 tablespoons, right? Okay. Next. 1 lemon. Hate it when they say things like that, because we all know lemons are different sizes, right? All the lemons that I have cut for a long time, how much juice do you think is in a lemon, generally?
Between 2.5 to 3 tablespoons.
Yeah. Well, in the lemon that I did today, 4.5 tablespoons. And it had pretty thick skin, but it was a good sized one. And I thought, you know, Arden went to the store for me today, and he couldn't find any bags of lemons. Kroger said they couldn't get them in, no bags of lemons. So he had to just buy some of the ones that you buy. Maybe you do get more stuff out of them. I don't know. So I don't know if I dare put all this in or not. Probably not, huh?
Just do it, let's live dangerously.
All right, there we go. We're going to have a lot of lemon tonight. All right, what's next?
We're going to blame top of the
Maple syrup.
Tablespoon maple syrup.
Maple syrup. All right, here's our maple syrup. As you all know that have been here before, I love this little shot glass. It's just the greatest.
I'm kind of liking it too. Yeah.
Okay, and then,
Or a teaspoon of ground cumin.
okay. You know, I know I have cumin at home, but I couldn't find it today. But they thankfully had some here. 1/4 teaspoon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now what?
1 teaspoon.
Sea salt.
All right.
I hope this
Sea
is.
salt. 1 teaspoon, right? I did not salt. Ooh. I didn't salt any of the things when I cooked them, the lentils or the rice or anything, because I looked at the recipe and I thought, yeah, 1 teaspoon, that'll probably take care of it. All right.
It'll temper all that lemon juice.
Okay, and last but not least, what, a 1/2 teaspoon of, ooh, my. Oh, my goodness.
The table will taste it.
A
Oh,
tablespoon?
The table, no. I said the table will taste it later.
One half teaspoon.
Well, a 1/2 teaspoon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really don't use, and I'm going to have to stop doing recipes with pepper. I don't really use pepper at my house. That'll be enough. There we go. All right.
Shaking pepper all over the place.
Yeah, we're going to shake everything. All right. It says to mix this up about a 1/2 hour, and then, you know, and then it's kind of marinated in flavor. You want to pour that over it, Susie? While I clean up my mess. You know, it does take some time to chop everything. Seems like it's really easy to put together, right? It is when you have it all chopped first, right?
And they took the rice and the lentils and
Yes.
too.
Right, there are a lot of pieces to it, but hopefully you'll like it.
I kept thinking the one at Costco, I thought, oh, it's like $15, $13. It's a kid's thing. But then I was like, oh, the amount of time I'm gonna have to make. Oh,
Maybe it's worth it, right?
maybe.
When you have to chop all that stuff up yourself. Okay. All right, the next one we're going to do is Arden's going to come out and demonstrate his granola. And again, the reason we're doing this is because he convinced a whole group of people that they needed to eat breakfast. And then he told them that he ate granola every morning. So they said, oh, you've got to teach us how to do it. But none of them are here. I might point that out. Oh, were you at the table?
I was not at the table, but I heard a lot of conversation.
Oh, okay.
I was at that meeting that you were at.
Yeah, right. So anyway, they can watch the video and see that Arden has made.
They might be at home cooking it and watching.
Right, that's right. They might be putting it all together. And I hope you notice that we all have matching aprons, right?
I did. Sometimes I'll.
Arden didn't think he needed an apron. I said, oh no, you have to do an apron because you have to do an apron because then we're all matching. So that's what he's doing. Are you going to tell him how you wound up doing granola?
Yes, I will try to remember to tell all kinds of things, but I may not remember them all.
I'll come and help you.
Okay. All right,
You
so
want your recipe?
I don't need the recipe, thank you. All right. All right, coming through good now, loud and clear. Okay. All right, well, I started, after I got out of college, I worked for hospitals, and so at noontime, I'd always eat at the college, at the hospital cafeteria until we got married and then so forth, and even then afterward. But my habit was to eat the box cereal. But by 10:30, it was gone. It just didn't last. And found out how to make granola, and so Barbara started making granola for me, and we did that for quite some time. After we had our business, it became Tracy's job to fix the granola. So anyway,
I gained all my lessons.
yeah. As you have the recipe, what I do first is I put the 5 ounces of sunflower seeds in, and and I have a kitchen scale, and I put it on here like this, okay, and I set out, I've got these all pre-measured, but I set the tare weight to 0, and then I set it to 0 again and put the second item in, wheat germ. And what we do, we buy our wheat germ and our sunflower seeds and our oats in bulk, because my favorite breakfast, the same thing all the time, is the same thing. Now, Barbara likes something different, and she likes hot cereal and so forth, and so she fixes hers, I have mine. Then we have sweetened coconut, and
You could use unsweetened, of course, but we just want you to know that we use sweetened, so if you might have to add a little bit more sugar.
so then we also, the last thing, of course, is the oats. And I use 3 1/4 pounds. I think that's about what they sell. I haven't looked at it in a long time. The Quaker oats, it's a whole rolled oats. It's not the quick oats, just the regular old-fashioned oats. But I stir this stuff together to get it more evenly distributed. Then when I add the oats, I don't have clumps of this in one place and then the other place. This all will blend in with the oats evenly. And just until it looks pretty well mixed up. And 3 1/4 pounds of oats. And that pretty much fills up this Tupperware bowl that we've had for many years.
Can you just stir that while you do the,
Yeah, you can stir that. It doesn't take but a minute to stir that. But then we go to our liquid.
If you're using Bob's Red Mill, it comes in 32 ounces, so you're gonna need 2 packages.
Okay, you say if we use red mill oats, it comes in 32-ounce packages, and so you'll need 2 of them. So I'm going to try to repeat after that. I was going to suggest that to Barbara while she was working up here, that she needed to repeat what you folks were saying because it doesn't come through here as well. All right.
actually, this is a recipe that his mother made that was in the Lincoln cookbook when we went to school there. And I always measured 14 cups out of oats, right? I was at their house one time, and she just dumped the whole thing, and I said, "You didn't measure that?" And she said, "Oh, it was about."
Yeah, yes, and these ingredients are, you can be flexible with them. What was I going to say? But anyway, we'll start out with, I just used the blender, a cup of water, and I'll often just look at the side and let the faucet dump it in, but we don't have a faucet here. And then oil. I was talking with somebody Sabbath, and he says, "Well, what kind of oil do you use?" We use canola or corn oil or whatever, because Barbara saw some one time it's good to switch around. If you want to use coconut oil, I've done that, and it changes the flavor. So be careful with that. But
Like coconut, that'll be good, right?
yeah. So I use 3/4 of a cup of oil.
The original recipe actually calls for a cup of oil. We cut it back, and that was another thing that I just couldn't understand. My mother-in-law, I would add water to make up for what I was cutting back the oil, right? She didn't, so it's okay, it works, right?
And then, this is a vintage bottle. We buy, because I make this all the time, we buy by the gallon, and then keep this in the cabinet. And it's, yeah, and the
It
same,
doesn't seem to have an expiration date on it.
the same thing with the oats. We buy bulk, we buy 25-pound bags of oats.
50.
Is it 50? Okay. And then the sunflower seeds, we buy 5 pounds, and 5 pounds of the, of the wheat germ.
Arden doesn't like my little shot glass.
Well, I just have done it this way all the time, and
He can't change.
it works.
No, oh,
What?
I teach the grandkids that when you do liquid in a spoon like this, it should bubble up.
Well, I'm a little bit nervous here.
I probably never taught him that, right?
It usually
All
does.
the finer things.
It usually, just when it runs over, then I stop. So yeah. And then brown sugar. Now, there's different ways of measuring brown sugar, I understand. But the way we do it is packed. So I'll take a 1/2 cup, pack it down hard. And this bag is really clumpy. I've never seen brown sugar quite this clumpy. Now, again, Barbara likes things a little bit sweeter than I do. And so she doesn't think this is quite enough sugar. So
The recipe
again,
calls for 1 cup.
again,
The
it's,
original recipe.
it's yeah, right. No, the sugar is only a 1/2 cup. I only put a 1/2 cup in. So
So you can go anywhere between there. Sometimes our older daughter makes granola when we come, only she makes it the way I like it.
now, oh, salt, yeah. Thank you. Just 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, you just getting pretty close. All right, and that's the wet ingredients. So we put the brown sugar in with the wet because we want it to not stay crystallized. Put it on here. About 15, 20 seconds until it's all emulsified. And again, and now this is the most tedious part of it, because you mix this wet in with the dry, and it takes a while to really get it mixed up.
So I have to demonstrate, because child labor, I need to show you. I was not a large child, I was small.
Did you have to
And
stand
I
on
had
a step stool?
I had to get on a step stool, and I kid you not, because it's heavy, I had to two-fist this thing, because it's heavy, like, wet. That's the way I had to stir it.
So I just,
But
yeah.
see, she's turned out pretty well.
It worked out, it worked out.
This may take 3 to 5 minutes to stir. I'm not going to do that here. We're going to do that off camera. And then I want to show you the finished product. This is what it's like after you get it out of the oven. We've got a convection oven, so the recipe book says 240. I set 240 on the oven and it converts convection to 215. I set the oven to run for 5 hours and I'll put it in and it's all done. Here, bring it, okay.
I want y'all to see, you can tell if it's done when you use the coconut.
Okay, yeah.
Just over the pan. So
I want that bucket.
But 5 hours an hour of the first serve. The recipe says, the original recipe. Here. It said to put it in, I think, at 225 and stir it every half hour. That's a real pain. I love putting it in the oven and just leaving it there. You don't have to worry
That's
about
what
it.
Tracy had to do. She had to stir it every half hour.
Yeah.
For that labor stuff.
And the beauty, he sets the oven and it makes at night.
Yeah, let's have it come on 3 in the morning. The first time we did it, it came on at 10. By 3 o'clock, ooh, I can't stay asleep anymore. It smells.
But not only that, when the oven went off, it went beep, beep. Not real good at that hour in the morning, so.
So I figured out how many square inches the total this is. It's about 400 square inches. This is a 9 by 13, 9 by 12 and a half. This is a 10 by 14 or whatever. That's, anyway.
Would you use like 4 or 9 by 13?
Yeah, you could probably do it, right? Now, the other thing is, your first knuckle, that's about deep enough. So what I do here, because it's hard to pour out of pans, I set it in there and I dump it in, and if any spills, guess where it goes? With the other.
You figured this out scientifically, right?
For any of you that don't know, he's going to count in 5
And
Yeah, right?
this is the smallest one, the easiest to pour out of, so anyway, that's what I do. Any questions?
Look at that, Tracy, he's got chunks.
Yay.
We like chunks.
It has to be lumpy. We like it lumpy.
There's a rule, right? And then we store it in bags. He makes 4 recipes
Yep.
at a time. I mean,
And,
one right after the other because he doesn't like to wash the pans.
Well, I don't set it up, but everything else is set up, so I make 4 recipes and it lasts me about 3 months.
How do you store it?
How do I store it? Oh, yes, I store it in the freezer.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. We
And then
save a little
then I
drawer
have
in the freezer for that.
then I have a container, Tupperware container in the refrigerator for what I use it day by day.
Yeah.
I was just going to say something else, but
If you think of it later. We're going to let y'all you get to taste it later. And also the door prize will be some granola. So the door prize will be some granola.
That's what I was gonna say. I have 1 gallon bags. I have 1 gallon Ziploc bags. And I just slide it over that bucket. If you can find a bucket like that.
Yeah, right. It's another antique.
It is.
Like the vanilla antique.
Yeah. We've been married, Barbara and I have been married for 52 years. So things have happened in those years.
Hi, good evening. Hi. Well, I am doing, okay. How many people love carrot cake? Joy, you don't like carrot cake? I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll eat your portion, okay. But Barbara and I were talking about some things that would be good to have for lunches or just to have some grab and go for yourself and for your children. And well, this is the finished product, and they keep for 1 to 2 weeks in the refrigerator. So yeah, so you can just put them in there in a good what you call it, airtight container, and so you'll be done with them. But I was curious about all the nutritional values of the ingredients, because there are not a lot of ingredients. So I went online yesterday, and I'm sorry I did that. There's a lot of information out there. So I'm Tabitha, she's my, she's got a lot up here, mine is on paper. So hopefully she can supplement what I may miss. But these are vegan carrot cake bites. And I initially made these as a taste tester because I had never made these before. And I brought them to our worship team rehearsal a couple of weeks ago. And so all of the team members and Tracy and Lou were my guinea pigs. And yeah, and I even brought them to church that Sabbath and had people try them then. But Lou gave me the best feedback. So thank you, Lou. And his feedback was not so wet to change the texture. So I had used quick oats, so I changed to whole oats because you can use either. So use the whole oats. And the other was, he said, try a finer grain coconut so that it looks kind of like snowballs. And so that's what I had. I got that too. For the outside. For the inside, I used another coconut grain. But let me start with carrots. And so
Yeah, you're doing that right under the microphone.
continue on.
Me up, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, the pulsing really hurts, doesn't it? Let's see. But I have a spoon. I need a spoon. I was curious about this recipe as far as, most carrot cake recipes you're supposed to have grated carrots. And it said to, chop the carrots up. So I said, okay, let me see. But they had a little bitty video, demonstration video on there, so I watched it. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what you do. So it's kind of finely ground. You may have a few bits of little chunks of carrot in there, but that's okay. So just put it in a bowl by itself and set it aside. They said 1 carrot. That's a really stretched truth. So I had about 2 or 3, and if you have extra, that's okay. You can just toss it in the recipe otherwise. So just do that and set it aside. Now, everyone knows about carrots. They're high in vitamin A and K for bone health, beta carotene for eyes, and can lower diabetes risk, and fiber for you know what. So our next ingredients are pecans. So this is a half cup of pecans. Now, it says flaked coconut flakes, and those are some big flakes. I didn't have that. What I had were shreds. So what I did, and this is just in case you can't find those big flakes. Sorry, Lou. Okay. Pulsed it a little bit before adding the already shredded, because if you put all this in there at the same time, it would be too shredded. So you just have to just compensate for what you have in your cupboard or pantry.
Is that sweet?
No, not sweetened coconut, unsweetened coconut. You know, it's hard to find sweetened, regular, you can find, who's it by? Is it Baker's? Who makes that sweetened coconut? And it's it's really horrible stuff. And I did find through a search sweetened coconut that was with organic sugar and blah, 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 blah. But it's really hard to find, so it's really not necessary to do that. It will make this sweeter, but it won't make it as healthy as what you're trying to do. We're trying to be healthy. So pecans contain protein, healthy fats, monounsaturated, and fiber that can help keep us energized and satisfied. It's a good source of calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which help lower blood pressure. And the coconut is rich in fiber and medium-chain triglycerides. I know you know what that is. And it may improve heart health, weight loss, believe it or not, and digestion. So our next ingredient is rolled oats, and you've gotten a good oat lesson from Arden with his. But we know that oats are a good source of carbs and fiber, help with weight loss, lower blood sugar levels, and a reduced risk of heart disease. So those are.
With the Cheerios being always that, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a stretch. So the oats and the dates. Now, these are the medjool dates, and you see how much bigger these are. And these are a combo of the medjool dates and my leftover dates from the last recipe demonstration. But I will warn you that if you want your bites to be really sweet, use all medjool dates. These are not as sweet as these. And I did find in Costco, remember, that they discontinued carrying them in the dried food section. They're now in the produce section, in like a clamshell, and there's a ton of them. They're big, and so it's pretty economical. It's just a little bit more than this. So, and also with dates, they're so sweet. They suggest if you are having an energy dip, just to have a date, stick a pecan or something in it and eat it, and it will give you the same energy boost as a cup of joe. Yeah. Huh? Joe? What? Yeah.
I might have pointed at him and he was like, what? I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Okay. Dates, they regulate blood pressure because of high potassium. Like carrots, they are high in beta-carotene to preserve vision. Decreases cholesterol because of their high fiber content. They're an energy booster because of the natural sugars. Regulates hormones because of its high manganese content. It satisfies our sweet tooth, so we're maybe less apt to grab that big cookie or what have you. Boosts metabolism because of the B vitamin content. Has a high mineral content. It promotes growth and development in young children and regeneration in adults with injuries. It's a natural sweetener. It strengthens the bones due to the mineral content of calcium and phosphorus. So these are really packed with a lot of good ingredients. So here are the oats and here are the dates, and now we're going to see Lou jump. Okay, so we'll pause. Oh, one thing about medjool dates, you must pit them. They all have pits. And then they have this little heart, little heart, little hat on them. I don't know what it is, but you have to pop that off too. Okay, yeah, that's good. And let's see, what else do we have here? Cashew butter. That's something we don't hear a lot about. So where's my jar? I found this in, I believe, Meijer. They have some of the most interesting things at better prices than the health food store. Because I found a jar of cashew butter that was this big for about the same price as this jar. So once again, and so cashews, they're really interesting. Did you know that 1 ounce of cashews have the same effect on the brain as 1 dose of Prozac? Yes, yes. Okay. Cashews improve, I thought that would be a little cliffhanger and I'll start reading. They improve heart health due to content of mono, unsaturated, and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Magnesium, which helps to regulate blood pressure, maintain strong and healthy bones, muscles, and nerves, helps to reduce the risk of diabetes, low glycemic index. Can help fight against cancer due to phytonutrients, which act as antioxidants. Improves oral health because of phosphorus content. Boosts brain health, packed with iron, zinc, and copper. Reduces risk of anemia because of iron content. Might help to prevent headaches because of magnesium content. Improves vision and eye health because they contain lutein and zeaxanthin. Okay, we know what that is. There are 2 of the eye-protecting plant compounds. It enhances skin and hair health because of the array of oils, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. So yeah, get you some cashews. So, just the cashew butter, and then the rest of the ingredients it says. So this is a 1/4 cup. And I used 2 types of coconut. I'm just going back. The coconut that I used for mixing in here is a medium shred by this company. And what I'm going to use to coat them with was by Cadia. I just found these, but it's the more finely ground. It's almost like snow. Okay, just that. That's all the rest of the ingredients. Cashew butter, cinnamon and nutmeg. Now, the test recipe that I did had the spices that my husband likes. He likes cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger. And so it's a pumpkin pie spice. blend. And some said, it's a little bit too for us. So I went with the recipe as written for demonstration purposes. But I'm making this for my husband since I made all this for you all. So this is his recipe. So I'm using pumpkin pie spice, and it's by Simply Organic, and it has all those components in it. So I'm using 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. So just letting you know you can substitute. You don't have to have, all the things that are written. There are other alternatives. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of vanilla. Yes, thank you for that. It wouldn't be carrot cake balls without it. But yeah, cinnamon, we've heard about cinnamon. It improves heart health, reduces inflammation. It might fight against neurodegenerative diseases, protects against cancer by reducing the growth of cancer cells, lower blood sugar levels. A lot of these do the same thing. Helps fight bacterial and fungal infection, topical, with the carrier oil, prevents candida overgrowth in the digestive tract because of its antifungal properties, good for oral health, loaded with antioxidants. Oh, nutmeg, we always wonder why people are so happy around the holidays. There's a reason for that. Okay, nutmeg combats depression and anxiety. It contains myristicin and elemicin. Heard of those? Okay. That relax your brain and act like a mild sedative. So everybody's really and really happy. I mean, it's because most of we start with Thanksgiving with the pumpkin pie, and we carry it on through Christmas. So that's why we're so happy. Promotes serotonin and other neurotransmitter production in the brain, increases brain power, battles insomnia, gets rid of muscle and joint pain, when used topically as an oil. It's a good acne treatment when used topically as an oil, improves digestion, prevents tooth decay and cavities. It's an immunity booster, good detox aid, improves libido. Sorry, kids. Just add it to your food. So that's what they had online. So.
That was nutmeg? Nutmeg was the last one you were talking about?
That was nutmeg does all that. And there are a lot of September babies. Now we know why. Yes. I don't know if statistics show that there are more births in September because of the holidays. Yeah, they blame it on winter. And you pulse this until it turns into a dough.
Yvonne, that is like super legit with those antioxidants that are fighting depression and whatnot, all the way to the point in some countries nutmeg has been used as a hallucinogen because when done at high doses, its neuro effects become hallucinogenically toxic. That's some stuff that works scientifically.
Yeah.
Something today.
Good. So this is how it looks. It says do it until it becomes like a dough. And so you can pick it up and make it into balls. So I'll do a few because they're already done for you. And let's say a good rounded tablespoon. I was doing this last night and I thought, oh, Yvonne, you're just so goofy. I was doing one at a time in the bowl. So, yeah. So I said, why not do about 5 or 6 and just roll them around? So it went pretty well fast because I tripled the recipe. So it was taking a bit of time. So I'll just do 3. and just roll them around. And these taste better made the day before and thereafter, you know, spices. Everything tastes better. Chili, pumpkin pie, things of that nature. So this is what they look like when you're done. So that's the recipe. So you have any questions? Okay. Well, we'll clean this up and I think food's ready.
Yvonne, I love that you share the whys behind food and its health. I think that's so important.
Thank you. Yeah, I learned a lot just by doing that. And yeah, I knew the nutmeg made people happy or whatever, but I didn't know the extent, and I knew about the cashews, but there was more about sea salt and vanilla, but I'll save that for another time. Because I'll be making more treats, and so we'll have that opportunity.
Everything's wiped off her hair.
Well,
Not really.
no,
I'll wipe it off, but you can start talking.
okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sandy. Hi. And I'm going to do a little talk, a small talk, on the benefits of laughing. And we've had so much going on in this world the last, year and a half or whatever, and with COVID and all that, and it increasing again. And so, a lot of people feel like they just don't have a reason to laugh, and they feel angry and so forth. But I did this, and Barbara actually gave me the article. It came from the Adventist Retirement Newsletter, August 2021. So it was really fun to look up this information, and so I learned a lot, and I hope that I can share some of this with you all, and you will learn something too. I'm not a medical professional, but I do get my information from good resources. So benefits of laughing. All right, so we'll go. A corny knock-knock joke may seem like an eye-rolling waste of time, but it gets you to giggle even a little bit, and it's good for you to do that. I giggle like right now. In fact, it gets you to giggle a lot. It's just humorous. It makes you feel better. And in fact, laughing and finding humor can improve different aspects of your life, including your physical health, your mental well-being, relationships, and even your career. For centuries, humor has been considered medicinal. Yeah. As early as the 1200s, surgeons used humor to distract their patients so that they wouldn't feel quite as much pain. I don't know if that worked or not, but that's what they did. Yeah. By the 20th century, humor came under scientific study for its effects on physical and psychological wellness. So researchers discovered that laughter helped reduce pain, decrease stress-related hormones, and improve immunity. So I have seen people before that had really positive attitudes and they laughed a lot, and it just seems like they don't get ill as much or depressed as much. So I think it does work. Leslie Lyle, author of Laugh Your Way to Happiness, says laughter boosts the immune system so that we are less likely to get ill. And if we do get ill, we can recover quickly in most cases. As more research about the health benefits of laughter emerges, science seems to agree with philosopher and mathematician Bertrand Russell. So he said, laughter is the most inexpensive and most effective wonder drug. Well, can you think of a less expensive drug? So, if that's the case, we need to find things to laugh about. Laughter affects the body. Finding humor in life literally strengthens your immune system and increases your resistance to disease. A study published in Alternative Therapies in Health and Medicine found that the health benefits of laughter linger longer after a joke has ended. In addition, medical studies have found that laughter not only decreases stress hormones, but it also increases endorphins in the bloodstream. Endorphins, as many of us know, are the chemicals that bring a sense of pleasure, improve mood, relieve pain, and help manage discomfort. I've always heard that endorphins, when you exercise, it increases your endorphins and it makes you happy. It makes you feel better. And I have found that to be very true. Do you know that natural endorphins are more powerful than synthetic painkillers, and they do not have the negative side effects that real painkillers do? By the way, laughter is also good for your heart. Laughter affects the mind as well. Individuals who laugh easily and often have better self-esteem and a more positive outlook on life. They also experience countless health benefits, including stress relief, increased energy, and improved mental clarity and problem-solving skills. By boosting serotonin, laughter works as a natural antidepressant. So it does work for people that maybe feel a little down, and especially in this day and age, I feel like that if people are feeling down, I have felt down before because you don't know where this COVID stuff is going. You don't know who's going to get it next, and it's a pretty scary thing, even if we've been vaccinated. So it's hard to know what to do, but it's a natural antidepressant. So if we could find things to laugh about during these tough times, I think it would help all of us. The more you laugh, the more lively you feel, says Chris Popp. He's the founder of Laughter Works. He says, laughter takes away your worries and tensions and helps you concentrate on your task. And this is in most cases, not in all cases. It helps release negative emotions and pent-up tension, particularly anger, anxiety, fear, and boredom. It's great for anything that involves innovation and creativity. So laughter also helps relieve a common concern. I wonder what that could be. Forgetfulness. That's what it is. According to a study of elderly patients at Loma Linda University, people who watched a funny video that made them laugh, they were given a memory test, and it scored higher than those who didn't watch the funny video. Okay, laughter affects your career. And I know it impacted mine in a positive way because I always tried to look, I wasn't perfect, I had my down days. But, I always tried to to look at the positives and to concentrate on my job and do the best job that I could. But it's hard to laugh and to stay happy all the time. Laughter is an important part of effective and positive communication, and it can make a big difference in how you are perceived in the workplace. We have this misguided belief that unless you appear serious, then you can't be doing your job well. Have you ever seen that? I mean, you know, some people, you know, some leadership, they would expect you to just be serious and not to have a good time. But I think nowadays, with more people working from home and all of that, I think that people are enjoying life a little more, and so, you know, they don't appear so serious. I worked with people that I loved working with that they weren't so serious. They would crack a joke every now and then or tell about something funny. And I tried to do that with my teams as well. The opposite is true, that you don't have to appear serious. People who laugh more are easier to deal with. It enhances communication, and I personally found that to be true. All emotional sharing strengthens relationship bonds, but sharing laughter has an added benefit because it causes the release of what's called empathy hormones. I haven't heard of that before. Tabitha, have you heard of empathy hormones?
What, empathy?
Empathy hormones? I haven't. I know she works with, you know, different ones with dementia and so forth, but I don't know. But that helps bond individuals in a greater way. That's why humor can be helpful in building strong teams, healing resentments, and overcoming disagreements and hurts. Laughter also can be used as an icebreaker for managing conflicts.
They're talking about oxytocin.
Okay.
The same hormone that you let out when you first nurse your baby, and that makes you bond to them.
Oh.
Sorry, I did not.
Oh,
know
that's
that
great to know. See?
hormone.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. She comes up with the answer so quick. I know Google's great. And I did find this to be true as well. So, you know, with our family, laughter affects our relationships with our families. We need to keep in mind that laughter doesn't happen only as a result of hearing jokes or watching TV. Simply spending time with friends and family is one of the best ways to laugh more. Research has found that laughter is contagious, and it is. When we see people laugh, we tend to react by displaying the same behavior. As soon as we see or hear someone laugh, we become stimulated. Our automatic response is to laugh too. The only example, though, that I want to give that would be opposite of that is if you're around somebody that laughs all the time and you want to laugh. That's not always true. Years ago, I saw Sleepless in Seattle, okay? I think many of us saw Sleepless in Seattle. Well, do you remember when Tom Hanks started dating this one lady, and she, what I would call, it was a cackle, and she would laugh at anything, and she just kept laughing, and it was really loud, and Tom Hanks' son would look at her like, you know, you are weird, you know, because she just kept cackling all the time, laughing hard. And you don't always want to laugh when you hear somebody like that. It actually gets on your nerves. But I haven't watched that in a long, long time, years and years. But when you engage in a positive way with someone, you rebalance your nervous system and you put a halt to defensive stress responses. So laughter really is a universal medicine. And I was trying to think, I think about this one a lot. Proverbs 17:22. It talks about, and we all know that, pretty much all of us know this, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. And that is true. I've seen people with, just miserable before because they can't crack a smile. They don't have a joyful heart, and they're miserable, and they can also make other people around them miserable as well. So we have to be careful that, in my own opinion, we have to be careful to be around people like that all the time, because it will wind up bringing you down. And so even if you have to work with them, try to just do your job and create as much distance as you can. But that can be with friends and family and co-workers and everyone. So, I have found that to be true, that person can bring you down. So we want to be around cheerful people, and we can be cheerful to try to make other people cheerful. So, okay, that's my talk. Thank you.
Arden, bring your tray out. I'm gonna bring my lunch out. Okay, here's the lunch, all set, ready to go.
Looks lovely. We've got roll-ups and
Dessert.
that's a lunch and a snack. That's great.
So it would work, we can just do this for Mikey.
Were you offering that?
This is Mikey's. I think they're just gonna come through.
Is your granola demonstration or your well-balanced breakfast
This is
demonstration?
my breakfast. I'm a fresh fruit nut. For breakfast, I eat at least 4. A grapefruit or an orange, honeydew or cantaloupe, strawberries, blueberries, or raisins on the plus a banana.
And we forgot to bring it.
We forgot to bring the banana. But, yeah, that constitutes my breakfast. Then we have either toast or bagel or some kind of thing. Just, yeah. So
I have to tell him though, because at least Marcia will appreciate this, and you should probably will too. A serving of this granola is really a 4th cup, okay? He eats 3/4 cup. That's why it holds him down.
oh, we only eat 2 meals a day, so it's got to last till 2:30, 3 o'clock.
So anyway, that's. All right, we have all the samples set out over here, so let's, yes. Thank you all for joining. I hope some of you were able to cook with us, those of you that are on virtually. And those of us that are here are going to taste now, sample. So I think we can just sign off. We'll say a blessing for the food, and then we'll go ahead and enjoy it. Lord, thank you again for the bounty of food that you give us. Thank you for all these good things we're going to eat. Pray that you will bless it to nourish and strengthen our bodies. Amen. All right, you can. Oh.